The mystery of Mortis.com.
Today, if you try typing Mortis.com into your web browser, you'll simply be met with an error page, a blank screen informing you that the site is unreachable. But back in the early 2000s, the outcome was quite different. At that time, the internet was brimming with peculiar websites, and users were eager to document their discoveries on forums. With the rise of the Cicada 3301 mystery in 2012, online communities became captivated by these kinds of cryptic puzzles. People were hungry for the next enigma to solve, seeking the thrill of deciphering hidden clues. However, Mortis.com set itself apart. Unlike Cicada 3301, which was crafted to be solved, Mortis.com seemed to resist any attempts to unveil its secrets. While Cicada led participants from one clue to the next, Mortis was more elusive, refusing to give up any information easily. What we know for certain is that Mortis.com was first registered in 1997, though it remained largely unnoticed until the early 2010s, when it was stumbled upon by a user who shared their eerie discovery on 4chan. The site's homepage was incredibly simple, just a black screen with a white login box asking for a username and password. While most users would turn away at this point, the individual who found the site decided to dig deeper by examining the site's source code. Upon investigation, they uncovered something much stranger than a mere login screen. The site's backend seemed to host an enormous amount of data. Some of the individual files were as large as 39 gigabytes, and in total, the site was storing several terabytes of information. This was especially unusual for the time. To put it into perspective, in the late 1990s, websites were rarely used to host such massive quantities of data. For comparison, in 1998, Walmart upgraded its servers to store 24 terabytes of data, a milestone at the time for one of the world's largest companies. Meanwhile, dial-up internet was still standard in most homes, making it nearly impossible for a regular user to upload or download such large amounts of data. The sheer size of what Mortis.com was storing raised suspicions that something hidden and potentially sinister was going on. The mysterious allure of Mortis.com was twofold. First, there was the name itself. Mortis, which translates to death in Esperanto, suggested something grim or foreboding behind its login wall. Whoever named the site either had a morbid sense of humor or deliberately wanted to scare off potential visitors. Yet ironically, the name did the opposite, drawing people in with its dark intrigue. Secondly, the site's minimalistic interface, a stark black background with just a login box, felt like a direct challenge, daring someone clever enough to break in. As word of the site spread, more users tried to crack the login. Brute force attacks, where automated bots attempt countless combinations of usernames and passwords, were launched against the site, but none were successful. This only fueled the curiosity surrounding it. Eventually, the site's legend spread from tech forums on 4chan to paranormal discussion boards and hacking communities. However, progress in understanding the site was slow and frustrating. While a few promising clues emerged, most leads turned into dead ends or were exposed as hoaxes. Some users claimed to have logged in, reporting everything from pirated movies to illegal material, including snuff films and classified government files. But as more people took an interest, hoaxes became more common, muddying the search for the truth. In the midst of these rumors, one name surfaced: Thomas Ling. Allegedly, the domain had been registered under this name on November 14, 1997. Further digging revealed that Ling had registered around 24 other websites, many of which were similarly bizarre and cryptic. One notable example was Thulu.net, which also had a minimalist design featuring a black screen with a lone white chess piece and a quote, "dead but dreaming." This reference to H.P. Lovecraft's mythos deepened the mystery surrounding Ling's websites. Despite multiple leads pointing to Thomas Ling, no concrete information about him could be found. Some users traced him to locations as far-flung as Australia, only to find that the addresses led to empty lots or abandoned warehouses. Others attempted to contact email addresses associated with his sites, receiving no response. It seemed as though whoever or whatever Thomas Ling was, they did not want to be found. By 2011, Mortis.com and many of the associated domains had gone offline. Some users speculated that this was due to the growing attention the site was receiving, perhaps spooking Ling into shutting it down. A few even claimed that Ling had reached out to them, demanding that they stop trying to access his site. He supposedly explained that the site was merely a place to store his wedding photos, a claim that, given the size of the files hosted on the site, was met with skepticism. Today, most of Ling's domains remain inactive, while Mortis.com and other similar sites have been scrubbed from internet archives, making it nearly impossible to research them. There are still a few lingering mysteries. For instance, Mortis.com was re-registered in 2020 under the same name and domain host, suggesting that someone, perhaps the original Thomas Ling, still has an interest in keeping the domain. Whether or not this person will ever bring the site back online remains to be seen. The mystery of Mortis.com endures not because of what we know, but because of what remains unknown. Was it really just a place to store pirated movies? Or did it house something far darker? And why go to such lengths to erase all traces of its existence? Perhaps one day someone will solve the mystery, but for now, it remains one of the internet's most enduring enigmas.
Whispers in the cold unknown, in the depths where shadows grow, silent bites where secrets roam, echoes in the digital dome. Electric pulses guide the way, data trails that never stay, mystic veils that hide the place.